The dust has settled. The world believes the nightmare is over. Yet, in the silent, suffocating heat of a suburban summer, one boy knows the truth. Lord Voldemort has returned, and no one will listen. Welcome to the most turbulent, frustrating, and ultimately most defining chapter in the saga of the boy who lived, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This isn't just a fantasy novel. It's a gripping political thriller dressed in wizard robes. It's a masterclass in the anatomy of fear, the danger of denial, and the silent courage of rebellion. Released in 2003, J.K. Rowling stripped away the comforting magic of the earlier books and plunged us into a world defined by paranoia, propaganda, and institutional oppression. Harry Potter is no longer just a hero, he is a pariah, a target of a ruthless smear campaign, orchestrated by the very government sworn to protect him. In this comprehensive analysis, we will journey through the book's sprawling narrative, from the desolate loneliness of Privet Drive to the clandestine halls of the Order and the authoritarian regime that chokes Hogwarts. We will uncover why this fifth installment is the crucible that forges the man Harry must become. To face his destiny, prepare to witness the year everything changes. The year of denial, the year of defiance, and the year the darkest secrets of the wizarding world came to light. Let's dive deep into Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. The story begins with an atmosphere of profound isolation. Harry Potter is trapped in the oppressive Muggle silence of Privet Drive, enduring a miserable summer. The air is thick with tension. He's desperate for news from the wizarding world, constantly scanning the skies, searching for any sign that the magical community has acknowledged Voldemort's return. But his letters from friends remain suspiciously vague, fueling his frustration and sense of being deliberately cut off. Harry is grappling with the haunting reality of his last confrontation with the Dark Lord, an experience the Ministry of Magic is systematically choosing to deny. His anxiety, already a heavy cloak, is about to be violently confirmed. On a dismal evening while walking with his cousin Dudley, a chilling supernatural cold descends. The tranquility is shattered by the appearance of two Dementors. These soul-sucking creatures, agents of pure despair, launch a sudden, terrifying attack. Harry, desperate and cornered, has no choice but to use magic to defend himself and Dudley. With a desperate cry, Harry casts a powerful Patronus charm, a silver-white shield against the darkness. The Dementors are repelled, but the immediate crisis is replaced by a legal one. Using magic outside of school, especially in front of a Muggle, is a grave violation. Almost immediately, an official Ministry of Magic letter arrives, threatening expulsion from Hogwarts. The full weight of the Ministry's denial and corruption falls squarely on Harry. In a surprising turn, a seemingly batty neighbor, Mrs. Fig, reveals herself as a squib, someone born to a wizarding family but without magical ability, and a member of a secret network watching over him. This revelation only amplifies Harry's confusion, but it buys him a crucial moment. Soon after, he is dramatically rescued by members of a secret organization and whisked away on broomsticks and thestrals. He lands at the secret headquarters, an ancient, gloomy, and dark house at number 12, Grimmauld Place. This is the base of the Order of the Phoenix. Reuniting with Ron and Hermione is a balm, but the headquarters itself is a tense, secretive place, filled with dark artifacts and a hostile, aristocratic house elf named Creature, who constantly mutters insults. Harry quickly learns the purpose of the Order, a clandestine society formed to combat Voldemort and his Death Eaters, operating in defiance of the Ministry of Magic. Key figures are there: Molly and Arthur Weasley, Remus Lupin and his godfather, Sirius Black. Despite the sense of camaraderie, Harry remains fiercely frustrated. He is deliberately kept in the dark by the adults, treated like a child rather than a key player in the war that centers on him. This isolation fuels his already volatile temper. The next major event is his disciplinary hearing at the Ministry of Magic. The trial is a farce. Minister Cornelius Fudge, paranoid and politically motivated, is determined to discredit Harry, and by extension, Albus Dumbledore, who is the only public voice confirming Voldemort's return. The hearing is stacked against Harry. Fudge's biased questioning and the overwhelming evidence of the Ministry's power seem impossible to overcome. But Dumbledore arrives, a beacon of measured authority, and presents Mrs. Fig's unexpected testimony. She, a Muggle-aligned witness, confirms the Dementor attack, dismantling the Ministry's case that Harry conjured the Patronus simply to show off. Harry is acquitted. The victory, however, is hollow. He now understands the depth of the Ministry's denial and corruption, and the precariousness of his and Dumbledore's position. This political attack sets the stage for his return to Hogwarts, where the whispers and suspicion from the Daily Prophet's smear campaign have already poisoned the student body. The unsettling atmosphere is compounded by two glaring changes. The beloved Hagrid is mysteriously absent, and a new defense against the dark arts teacher has arrived, Dolores Umbridge, Her presence is a physical embodiment of the Ministry's overreach. Umbridge is not just a teacher, she is the Ministry's spy, the Hogwarts High Inquisitor. She is a woman of terrifying, saccharine malice, dedicated to enforcing the Ministry's narrative, that Voldemort has not returned, and Dumbledore is a dangerous fantasist. Her initial lessons are a deliberate insult, theory only, no practical defensive magic. The students are being actively disarmed, left vulnerable to the real threat outside the castle walls. Umbridge quickly begins to issue a series of draconian educational decrees, literally nailing them to the wall. Each one dismantles a piece of Hogwarts autonomy. She bans student organizations and begins arbitrary, terrifying inspections of teachers. Her presence introduces a feeling of suffocation and oppression that the school has never experienced before. Harry, Ron, and Hermione know that theory will not defeat the Death Eaters. The students must learn to defend themselves. This urgent necessity and the Ministry's denial plants the seed for an act of open defiance and rebellion. In secret, the students begin to organize. Hermione, ever the strategist, suggests the formation of a secret group to be led by the only person who has ever truly fought Voldemort and survived. Harry, reluctantly, he agrees. The group is christened Dumbledore's Army, or DA, a name that is both a symbol of loyalty and an act of political defiance against the Ministry. The challenge is finding a secret meeting place. The loyal house elf Dobby, returning to the story, reveals the existence of the legendary Room of Requirement, a hidden magical space that appears only when the user has true need of it. It becomes their sanctuary. In this hidden room, Harry transforms from a burdened victim into a dedicated teacher. He instructs his peers, including Neville Longbottom, who begins to show incredible hidden potential in practical life-saving defensive spells. The DA meetings are a necessary rebellion, a defiant pocket of hope and training against the encroaching darkness.
Taking a quick breather. If you're enjoying these insights, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. I'd also love to hear your take on this summary so far, so drop a comment below. Now, let's get back to the book. While the DA thrives, Harry's emotional turmoil is escalating. He is haunted by nightmares of a long, dark corridor and a mysterious door at the Ministry. To help him control his mind and shield it from Voldemort's growing mental intrusions, Dumbledore forces him to take occlumency lessons with the one person Harry despises. Severus Snape. During one excruciating lesson, Harry accidentally peers into the Pensieve, accessing one of Snape's most painful memories. He witnesses a moment from his father's youth, a teenage James Potter and his friends cruelly bullying a young, vulnerable Snape. The scene is shocking. This revelation shatters Harry's idealized image of his heroic father, replacing it with the painful, complicated truth of a flawed human being. It's a key moment of maturation as Harry grapples with the complexity of morality and legacy. The DA cannot remain a secret forever. Cho Chang's friend, Marietta Edgecombe, betrays the group under pressure. Cornered by Umbridge, the student's only shield is Dumbledore, who steps forward and claims full responsibility for forming Dumbledore's army. He lies, protecting Harry and the students from expulsion. But this sacrifice forces a devastating consequence. To avoid arrest by the Ministry's officials, Dumbledore stages a spectacular and dramatic escape from Hogwarts. In his absence, Umbridge is installed as the headmistress, her power absolute. She turns Hogwarts into a prison, complete with a hateful inquisitorial squad, led by Draco Malfoy. Hogwarts is now under the Ministry's authoritarian control. Yet despite the oppression, the students and remaining staff rally in silent small acts of defiance, keeping the spirit of rebellion and the memory of Dumbledore alive. As the school year draws to a close, Harry's haunting visions of the mysterious corridor intensify. They become a full-blown, terrifying dream. He sees Sirius Black, his beloved godfather, being tortured by Voldemort within the Ministry of Magic's Department of Mysteries. Convinced the vision is real, Harry is frantic. He and his friends break into Umbridge's office to use the Flu Network. They are quickly caught, but in a tense standoff, Hermione and Harry lure Umbridge into the Forbidden Forest under the pretense of revealing a secret weapon. There, Umbridge is confronted and subdued by a group of angry centaurs, buying Harry and his friends the time they need. They race to the Ministry on the backs of Thestrals, the magical skeletal horses only those who have seen death can see, driven by the desperate need to save Sirius. The friends break into the Ministry, navigating the eerie, silent Department of Mysteries. They arrive at the Hall of Prophecies and find it empty. Harry's vision was a clever, cruel ruse by Voldemort, who had been planting false images in Harry's mind to lure him to a single location. Voldemort wanted a specific glass orb, the prophecy concerning Harry and himself. Harry and his friends are immediately ambushed by Death Eaters, led by Lucius Malfoy. A brutal, chaotic magical battle erupts among the towering shelves and shimmering orbs of the prophecy hall. The teenage students, though well-trained by the DA, are overwhelmed by the experienced dark wizards. But then a flash of fire and color. Members of the Order of the Phoenix arrive, having been alerted by Snape, plunging the Hall of Prophecy into a full-scale, devastating war.
Amidst the swirling, violent battle, Sirius Black duels his manipulative, psychotic cousin, Bellatrix Lestrange. For a moment, the tide seems to turn in favor of the Order. Harry watches as his godfather lands a triumphant blow, but in a moment of reckless arrogance, Sirius drops his guard. Bellatrix seizes the opportunity, unleashing a single devastating curse. The spell hits Sirius, and in an agonizing, silent moment, he falls backward through an ancient, shimmering archway, the veil. He is gone. Harry is consumed by a blinding, primal rage and grief. He chases Bellatrix, attempting to exact revenge. Just as he corners her, the ultimate dark force arrives, Lord Voldemort himself. The Ministry Atrium, usually a place of bureaucratic calm, becomes the stage for the book's final iconic duel. Just as Voldemort is about to strike Harry, Albus Dumbledore arrives in a magnificent, blinding flash of light, protecting the boy. The fight between the two greatest wizards of their age is a spectacle of magic and power. Statues animate, elemental forces clash, and the very air shimmers with their raw, concentrated intent. Dumbledore masterfully counters Voldemort's every move, displaying a strategic, calculated superiority. Voldemort, unable to defeat Dumbledore, attempts a final, desperate gambit. He possesses Harry, hoping the sight of his own defeat will drive Dumbledore to sacrifice Harry. But the sheer force of Harry's grief and love for Sirius, emotions Voldemort cannot comprehend, drives the Dark Lord out. Cornelius Fudge, Minister of Magic, arrives just in time to witness Voldemort's shadowy escape, finally forced to confront the undeniable truth. The Ministry's denial shatters. The next day, the Daily Prophet reports the truth, vindicating Harry and Dumbledore. The wizarding world is thrown into turmoil. Back at Hogwarts, Dumbledore, filled with regret, finally shares the truth he has withheld for years. The prophecy. He explains his fear of Voldemort using Harry as a weapon, and his own terrible mistake in isolating Harry. The prophecy reveals the terrible, inevitable truth. Neither can live while the other survives. This revelation is the true climax. Harry must now confront the reality of his destiny. The war is not just around him, it is about him. He carries the weight of a painful past, a crushing prophecy, and the fresh, searing grief of losing his godfather, his last link to his family. As the school year ends, Harry is struggling to process his grief. He finds solace in the unwavering support of his friends Ron, Hermione, and the insightful, philosophical Luna Lovegood, who speaks of the enduring connection with the dead. Harry's journey is one of profound loss, but also of powerful maturation. He has learned that heroes are fallible, authority figures are corrupt, and the greatest power lies in friendship and the courage to resist. He leaves Hogwarts, returning to the suffocating quiet of Privet Drive, carrying the burden of the prophecy. But he is not alone. He is armed with the knowledge of his destiny, the unwavering loyalty of his allies, and the grim understanding that the greatest battle, not just against a dark wizard but against denial, fear, and oppression, has only just begun. The boy who lived is now the chosen one, ready to fight.
The best way to master a book is to share what you've learned. If you enjoyed this journey, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment on this summary below, or suggest the next book we should read. Let's continue building this library together.